the Coast had some big announcements last week for Dungeons and Dragons. It is the largest TTRPG in the world, and there's no denying that. It just is. They got new seasons, new product lines, crossovers, classic settings returning. On paper, this might look a little exciting for my D&D people out there. There's a lot out there. I, on the other hand, am skeptical of almost all of it, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to focus mostly on two specific announcements because I think they tell you everything you need to know about kind of where Wizards of the Coast is with this game right now. And those two announcements are Star Wars and Dark Sun. Let's start with Star Wars because I want to get my frustration on this one out of the way early. Star Wars is my favorite fandom. It was my first fandom. In 2027, D&D is getting some Star Wars back. Basically a full Universes Beyond crossover, bringing Star Wars IP into 5.5e Dungeons & Dragons. Here's the thing. They already did this. They did it in the 3.0, 3.5, and 4th edition eras. WotC took their D&D system, reskinned it, and made a Star Wars RPG. It existed. People played it. I played a lot of it. It was, and I want to be precise here, okay. It was okay. Not great. The system and the fiction never quite fit together the way you wanted because Star Wars has specific and mechanical and narrative DNA that doesn't map cleanly onto a fantasy framework. The Force is not magic. Lightsabers are not swords. The design problems are real, and the previous attempts proved that solving them is a heavier lift than it looks. And that was with the system they specifically built for purpose. Now they're trying to do it as a crossover bolt-on to 5.5. A system that was designed to be Dungeons and Dragons, and that's it. The lift is heavier, not lighter. And this is the part that baffles me. Fantasy Flight Games has confirmed they still hold the Star Wars RPG primary license. They have a Star Wars RPG. It's made by Fantasy Flight Games. It's out there right now. It has an established player base. It works. People are playing it. So the question that I cannot get a satisfying answer to is, A, why do we need two different Star Wars RPGs? Wizards isn't filling a gap in the market. They're creating a competitor to an existing product in the same space. That's not a creative decision. That's a market grab dressed up as an exciting announcement. And I don't think it's going to work that well. Jay, what are your preliminary? You've played some D&D in the past, tabletop RPGs. What are your thoughts here?
That's it.
Just dumb.
Just dumb. Go ahead, roll the fucking credits.
Roll
Let's go
credits.
home. No. Yeah, I don't understand this. Yeah, because like right now I'm going through my capstone project.
You're doing your MBA right now in marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you have to take ideas, you create a funnel of ideas, and you step through the whole value proposition framework until you're down to like one idea, and then you like map that out, and at the end of the class you're ready to launch it if you want. But like I would get a bad grade for this like, because it's like I don't understand what value they're creating.
I maybe value for them. I don't know for the consumer. Yeah, what value you're creating, and we're getting back into this space that so many people in the tabletop RPG community have been trying to get away from. Not everything has to be D&D. Okay, I'm not downing on people who play D&D. Okay, I want to state that clearly. Okay, I've played D&D since I was 9 years old. I'm not bagging on D&D. What I am bagging on is, and this has been a consistent problem for a long time, D&D has become shorthand for all tabletop RPGs, and there is a not small insignificant group of people who are frustrated because they can't get people away from D&D to try other things. How many social media posts I say being like, why don't they create sci-fi D? Because they don't need to, right? D&D is a thing, and it's fine, and if you like D&D, play D&D. But what I would rather see Wizards do is come up with like original adventures, original ideas, not going back to that. Speaking of not having original ideas and more crossovers, while we're on the subject of crossovers, let's talk about World of Warcraft. because they're going to do a World of Warcraft crossover again. They've done this before too. And my reaction is, yawn? Look, I understand who this is for. If you're a WoW player who also plays D&D, this just probably sounds fun. It's cool. I'm not going to take that away from you. But World of Warcraft in 2026 is not the World of Warcraft at its peak. At its peak, WoW was a genuine cultural phenomenon. It transcended gaming. It was the thing everyone was playing. It was the thing that your non-gamer friends had heard of, the thing that defined an era of online entertainment. The WoW crossover that they did, all those things, those are massive. The WoW of today has a dedicated player base, a smaller, significantly smaller player base that has been in steady decline for a decade. Okay? The cultural cachet that would have made this crossover genuinely exciting is gone. WotC isn't meeting the audience where they're at. They're chasing an audience that has mostly moved on. I'm not saying it's going to be a bad product. I just don't see why this is a flagship, exciting announcement that they seem to think it is. I'm going to toss this back to you, Jay. Thoughts on the WoW crossover?
Roll credits. Yeah, no, again, you're right. It's I don't think they're assessing like the competition, and they're assessing your consumer and what they want. And I think you're just trying to make money off of the legacy of WoW, which is not a great business strategy. So I don't know.
Again, it's 2026. Like,
just like fucking hire Alex, you dumb people.
They won't hire me. They won't.
Fucking shit.
Yeah. All right. So let's, and yes, chat saying millions still play. I agree. But again, if you're trying to maintain the increase the relevance of D&D, because I think D&D is pretty much flatlined, and we'll talk about that maybe a little later in the show. But let's go to our last one that I want to talk about in this particular segment. Dark Sun. This one is more complicated. Dark Sun was an original D&D setting from back in the old TSR days. It is returning. And this could be exciting news. Dark Sun is honestly one of the most beloved and distinctive settings in the history of Dungeons & Dragons. A desert world where civilizations collapse, so rare that metal is used as currency, where water is more valuable than gold. It's an environment that is trying to kill you. The environment itself is trying to kill you as much as any monster. It is bleak, brutal, morally complex, and unlike anything else that D&D had ever done. WotC is bringing it back as a mature rated setting for 2027. And on the surface, I want to be excited about that. I really do. But I'm not. And here's why. Problem number one. The current WotC team does not have a great track record with mature and legacy content from old D&D. I point you to Spelljammer. The direction of D&D since the 5e era, and especially as the 5.5 transition, has been consistently softening. Edges get rounded. Dark themes get handled differently. The game has been moved toward accessibility and away from the kind of brutal, uncompromising design that made Dark Sun what it was. The team that's going to execute Dark Sun in 2027 is in a different position. And that matters enormously because Dark Sun without the brutality is not Dark Sun. It's a desert setting with borrowed aesthetics and a mature rating sticker on the box. Problem 2 is more fundamental, and this is a mechanical argument that I think kills the whole thing. Dark Sun was all about survival. Survival elements were not just flavor, they were the entire point. Athens is a dying world. Your character can die of thirst and hunger and things between encounters. Water management, food scarcity, resource management. These were not optional rules in Dark Sun that you could ignore. They were design philosophy of the setting. The world kills you while you're trying to save it. That's Dark Sun. 5.5 is the MCU of tabletop RPGs, and I mean that as close to literally as possible. Your characters are capable, resilient, heroic. The design direction since 2014 has been explicitly and deliberately away from the meat grinder and toward the power fantasy. This is not a bad thing. I'm not critiquing that point. Okay? It just is what it is. But players are not supposed to struggle and die. They're supposed to feel powerful and triumph. The two design philosophies are not compatible. In my opinion, they point in opposite directions. So what happens when you put Dark Sun into 5/5? You have two options, and neither one, in my opinion, is good. Option one, you bolt Dark Sun survival mechanics into 5/5 and get a clunky, awkward experience where the system actively fights the setting at every turn. Players used to 5/5 are going to find the survival elements punishing in a way that feels unfair and out of place rather than dramatic. Option two, you file off the survival mechanics, which is what I think most player groups are going to do. I think that D&D is going to put them in there, and I think player groups are going to ignore them. And that'll make it more playable. And in doing so, you remove the thing that made Dark Sun Dark Sun. You get a setting that looks like Athos, but doesn't play anything like it. Either way, Dark Sun loses. I hope I'm wrong. Dark Sun deserves better than a watered-down version of itself, but based on WotC's track record and the fundamental mechanical mismatch between this setting and the system, I'm not holding my breath. Jay, what do you have any thoughts on them trying to do grimdark meat grinder fantasy in 5/5?
Yeah, I think they should water it down and fucking ruin the brand image and just fucking piss off everyone that's above the age of 24, 30, maybe 30, everyone above the age of 30. Yeah, fuck it. Fuck it. Burn the world. Let's just make everyone mad and let's make horrible fucking business decisions. Because at the end of the day, AI can just fucking do everything better. So fuck it.
Again, I don't want people to think that I'm hating on D&D to hate on D&D. Okay?
That's what's going to happen.
Listen carefully, please. If you like D&D, if it is your preferred game, I'm fine. Play what you want to play. Okay? It's a game. But I don't know why we need to bolt on this stuff. Again, there is so much stuff, right? Forgotten Realms, Eberron. They've done a lot with Ravenloft. There's a lot of systems they could be using that fit their mechanics a lot better, and I don't know why they're not. It looks like they're going to bring back Dragonlance, more stuff from Forgotten Realms. That's fine. Greyhawk, again, another system that I think works well with 5/5. D&D Beyond's getting a bunch of updates, right? Mobile play mode, campaign creation, all good stuff. But here's my honest read on all of this put together. If I look at that roadmap, I don't get what the vision is. Like, what is the future of Dungeons and Dragons? Star Wars, World of Warcraft, Dark Sun, Greyhawk, old people returning, third party, D&D Beyond. What is the through line? What is Watchley actually trying to say about what D&D is and where it's going? Because I look at this roadmap and I see several different strategic impulses pulling in 7 directions simultaneously. IP revenue plays, nostalgia plays, platform plays, creative plays. None of it feels like it's building toward a coherent identity of what Dungeons and Dragons is in 2026 and going forward. D&D is 50 years old. It survived every edition or every corporate overreach. It will continue. I have no doubt. D&D is not dying. Okay? Oh yeah, World of Darkness too. Thank you, chat. I just want to know what it's surviving towards. Because right now, I'm not sure Wizards does either. And I'll be honest, one of the reasons that I do not primarily play D&D anymore, please note I said anymore, I used to play it all the time, is because I don't know what they're doing. Jay, any takes on their roadmap? Or do you see where they're going? Can you shed some light on the strategy here?
Yes. So I think actually what they're doing is they're trying to build a roadmap and they are trying to have a strategy on how to quickly go down the drain or into the trash bin. So only time will tell if they are successful in their mission. But
Uh, yeah,
live short and horrible.
yeah, and thank you, Chad. I know, and again, I played World of Darkness back in the day. Um, World of Darkness really isn't built for D&D. Oh my god. Um, holy crap. I I cannot think of a setting and the original system built around that setting that is less in line with the mechanical design philosophies of D&D than World of fucking Darkness. Um, I, it literally, like, I couldn't even get that really heavily into this segment because I could not figure it out.
Yeah,
Um,
I honestly don't know like what you're talking about, but it sounds really cool.
so World of Darkness was the original sets was Vampire the Masquerade, Werewolf,
Oh,
Mage.
yeah.
All of those are World of Darkness, right?
Oh, okay.
I and and I had one friend in particular who was so into vampire. Um, and to say it is literally one of the best role playing game settings I've ever read. Right, one of the best, like top 5, easy. It's so well put together. It's so in depth. It's so deep. It's got a lot of meat to the bones. Right, not that there's not problematic elements to it, but put that aside for a minute. It's got a lot of meat to the bone, right? Mage, fairy, changeling, werewolf, vampire, all those games. Amazing, right? Um, but D&D it is not, right? Like it's just not. Um, so I mean, look, everybody wants the money. So if D&D is willing to pay you to adapt your system into D&D, take the cash. I'm not bagging on the World of Darkness guys, but again, mechanically, I don't see it. Right? I don't know. Have you ever played those games?
Um, I have Vampire Masquerade. Um, I've never played it. Like I have like a lot of. It was one of those. Hang on, Vampire. Do. There was a humble bundle. Do you know what that is?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it was like one of those where it went towards like charity. You donated money, and then you got like sent in the mail like a stack of
Yeah.
a lot of shit.
Yeah.
Never played it. I keep inviting like Alex over to my house to like play games like that, and he's like always busy. He's like, "Oh no, I got to stream. Got to work on like concept for the stream. Blah blah blah." But no. So I know of Masquerade. I do know of that one.
Um, it was very popular and may still remain. I'm a little unplugged from this part right now in the last couple of years. For the longest time, it was the most popular in the LARP community, the live action role playing community. So much of what happens in Vampire is all about social interaction. It's a lot of politics. It's a lot of like discussing things. It's a lot of um it's a lot of different stuff. Um again, uh dungeon crawly, that kind of stuff. It is not. So again, I don't know where they're going with this. Um anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say about this for right now. Did you watch the D&D announcements? Are you excited about this? Do you think it's interesting or do you think it's a giant mistake? Let us know in the comments below.